Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and here on this channel I ramble with articulation, I hope, about a variety of music, audio and visual things that I spot in videos that I watch. And today I am going to be watching one of the most requested Pentatonix videos. Specifically, I'm going to be watching their Daft Punk medley. I said, I think, a long time ago, I wasn't sure if I'd seen this or not, and I was actually listening to some Daft Punk the other day, and you know what, I don't actually remember having heard this covered, so I don't think I have done, so we're going to give it a go, and if I have seen it, you're never going to see me talking right now, and I'll be doing a different video instead, and if I haven't seen it, well, great, here's a video. This was recommended by many people. The first four who did so I had written down were Alex Walker, Alan Freeman, Anna, and the Chomiji. Thank you to all of you for the recommendation. I had held off on it for precisely the reason I just mentioned, but here we go. I was scrolling back. Pentatonix are a little overdue at this point, just because they didn't really have anything to offer for Video Game Month, and they were a little out of the cycle at the point where I started that anyway, so I wanted to do them next, and I figured this would be fun. As I say, I was listening to a couple of Daft Punk tracks a couple of weeks ago, and I just thought, yeah, let's see if I have actually done this or not. I really feel like I haven't now. So we'll see. This video is crazy successful for Pentatonix. As I look right now, it has had over 374,745 views. It was released on November the 5th, 2013, so it is now 10.5 years old. I'm not surprised it's had so many, especially with how big PTX have become since. But of course, also, you know, Daft Punk, legendary duo, and I think their music is also inherently going to draw a bunch of people. This probably got Pentatonix a bunch of fans they didn't have before. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Probably still is doing that. So yeah, I had a quick glance at the track list. It looks like it's a lot of stuff off Interstellar 4/5, which is very cool. I love that album, mostly because I love the visuals that went with it. If you haven't seen Interstellar 4/5, the album's Discovery. Interstellar 4/5 is an animated movie that features this band called the Crescendos, which they're a kidnapped alien band, and there's a bunch of really cool visuals that go with all of this stuff. And I'm here for it. I don't know the full album. I don't think I've listened to a Daft Punk album from beginning to end at any point. But I always enjoy their music when it comes on. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what Pentatonix do with it, because I think this is going to be amazing. So yeah, I don't have much more to say, so I will simply say welcome back to the channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. If it is, the way this works, I'm going to watch the video from beginning to end, commenting and emoting over the top of it. I will then go back and watch it a second time. That time I will pause, I will interrupt, I'll offer what commentary and analysis, I feel I can, based on what I've just seen and heard and the foreknowledge of having seen the video the one time before. Please do like the video, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and if you would care to support the channel, you can do so either at buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts, where you can leave a one-off donation, at patreon.com/DavidKReacts, where you can sign up for $2 Canadian per month. And that will give you access to my Discord, and it's just a way of supporting the channel long term. Or you can leave me a super thanks here on YouTube, and any of those would be very gratefully appreciated. But I think that's everything. So without any further delay, let's check out a younger Pentatonix. I know this is an the RV era. A much younger Pentatonix 10 years ago, covering a bunch of songs by Daft Punk.
Use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it.
I love this visual. I've seen screenshots of this.
Plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag and drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it,
Oh,
lock it, surf it, scroll it, pause
yes.
it, cross it, back it, switch it, page it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, play it, pay it, touch it, Technologic. One more time.
Oh, love that.
One more time. Like the legend of the Phoenix, yeah. All in
Oh, yes.
It keeps the planet spinning. The force will not be human. No. We've come too far.
Oh, these changes are smooth. Yes. Ooh.
Last night I had a dream about you.
Oh, I love what they're doing with this.
Right beside you. There's nothing wrong with just a little bit of fun. We were dancing all night long. Oh, I don't know what to do about this dream and you. I hope
This is super cool. I really like the blend they've got of the harmony and the vocal.
One more time. Hey, we're gonna celebrate. Oh yeah, alright, don't stop the dancing. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. Harder, make it better. Faster makes us stronger. Never.
Oh, oh, this is cool. Oh, the quick cutting is fantastic. Excuse me, Kevin. Wow.
Music's got me feeling so free. Celebrate and dance so free. One more time, music's
Lovely
got me
drop.
feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate.
Beat drop coming.
Celebrate and dance so free. Tonight, hey, just feel it. Music's got me feeling me.
Oh, this is so good. Well put together.
Gonna celebrate, celebrate and dance to the stars. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get fun. We're up all night to get fun. We're up for one more night.
Oh, yes. Oh, these visuals, they're so good.
So
Oh,
much for watching our Daft Punk medley. Exciting news, our album is out today. I know we
Yay!
worked very hard on it. It's been a long journey, but it's
10 years ago.
It's on iTunes or Amazon.
Yes, and we're going on a European tour, and we're so excited. Tickets are going very quickly, though. So
This
please
would have
check our
sold
website,
tickets.
ptxofficial.com for more info. Also, we're going
Not that
on
they wouldn't
another
have done
tour
anyway.
in 2014. Please check below for the dates. And tickets will be available November 7th is VIP tickets, and then November 8th is general admission.
Also, we know a lot of you guys have been wanting to cover Run to You, so you can go on our website, ptxofficial.com, and you can download the sheet music. And don't forget to subscribe.
We love you
See y'all
guys.
later.
Bye.
Oh, nice. Wow, they did a really... Okay, I haven't seen this before. This was completely new to me. Damn, they did a good job with this. That is so good. It's a different style almost to what I'm used to from Pentatonix, and it's really cool. Just going to see, they're not great at putting stuff in their description, but did they put stuff in the description? No. No, they did not. That's fine. I know that they don't really do a lot of that. That is so cool, though. They did a really, really good job of just piling songs on top of each other and making them sound incredibly holistic. It didn't really feel like they were breaking away from anything. I was very, very impressed with that. The look is fantastic. I've seen screenshots of that all over the place. Anytime you look up Pentatonix, that's one of the things that comes up at the top of something as an image. Just magnificent. I'm really, really impressed with that. A couple of songs there, as I said, I haven't listened to, I think, any of the... I mean, I guess I've heard Discovery from beginning to end because of Interstellar 4-5, but I haven't sort of consciously sat down, put the album on and just listened to it. So, a couple of songs in there I didn't know, and obviously a lot of songs I did know. I really like how they mixed everything together, some of the harmony stuff they threw in. Let's just go back and watch this again, and we'll see what I can tease out of it, because this was great. Incidentally, I apologize in advance for the fact... Oop, thought that would paused. I apologize in advance for the fact that the video that you just saw me react to was probably both obscured and horizontally flipped. This era of Pentatonix will entirely block my video from even being able to be seen. I allow a lot of videos... There's a lot of videos that I don't get any ad revenue for because I'd rather the video goes up and you're able to see what I'm commenting on and reacting to. And so I allow quite a lot of videos to go up that I get no money for through YouTube. This one, they just won't let you see it if I don't do that. I've discovered that from this era with, does it say something? And so there's a couple of them recently where I've had to flip them and obscure, like put a translucent grey box over the top. So I'm sorry that I had to do that. But it's the only way I can get these videos actually up on YouTube.
Use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it.
I mean, what a great start to a video right there. Just the single shot, close up, really close up. The contacts are so vibrant. You know, it's a real draw. It immediately makes you feel like there's something different about this video. And it's such a simple thing, because otherwise, compared to where they're going to go with some of these visuals, it's just a close-up of Mitch. There's not really a lot else that's going on here, but it makes it extremely powerful because there is this very, 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 very vibrant difference that stares you right in the face. It's dead center of the screen. It pulls you to look at his eyes. Very, very effective.
Trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it.
And I love as we bring each harmony line in, we bring the person on screen. It's a very, very effective method of doing it. But what I do enjoy here is that we don't lose the other person. We go into this staggered frame appearance, which is really, really nice because it means everybody gets to stay on screen as they're continuing to sing rather than just cutting away completely. I love the fact that Scott's hair has just gone white for this video. Like, really, really nice choice to do that. Same for Kirsty with the blue. Is Avi not wearing a shirt? Of course he's not. I was just going to comment that I love that they've all got white shirts, and then I realised that's actually like a blue tube, isn't it? Like one of the, it's almost like a what do you call it? One of those glow strip bands as a tube. That's not a collar at all. He's just not wearing a shirt. Okay, fair enough. But I like that white is kind of... You've got the black behind. Obviously, you have black hair, so that kind of fades into it. But then you have the shock of white from Scott. You have the white shirts. You have this blue tube and skin tone, even on the body from Avi. It's nice. It creates a very sharp visual. And then here you get this explosion of colour from Kirsty. It's such a shock to the system because, yes, we've had the white from Scott. Yes, we have the blue from the contact lenses. But you don't expect this. This is completely out there compared to what everybody else is wearing at this point, and I love it. The makeup is beautiful. The hair color's actually great. It could almost be too much, but for some reason it works. I love the huge eyelashes. They're really kind of standing out. Everything about it kind of really pulls you into Kirsty's face. Really beautifully done, even down to the fact that it stretches down to the chin. Lovely full color of the glitter, the blue. Really spectacular makeup for her. And then, just like that, as Kevin comes in, we switch to a different look altogether. All of a sudden, Mitch has gone from having nothing on his face to having this crisscross of these strips. Everything is shining that is like that kind of pure white. Obviously, Scott's hair, slightly different tone. I'm not sure if they've done that by not shining that sort of UV-ish light towards him, or whether it's just that it's not shining where the shirt material is. Different materials react differently under different kinds of light. I love the fact that Kirsty's makeup is reacting. I don't know whether that means they've added like a UV receptive layer on top, or whether that's to do with the angle of the lights. Whatever it is, it's a really nice touch that you get this beautiful frame of her eye, and it kind of almost makes the dark of the eyelashes even more prominent. And so there's something like her eyes look darker than everybody else's, even though she's wearing the contact lenses, but they're not shining the way that everyone else's eyes are because there's so much around them that's drawing the attention instead. And then Kevin comes in again, white shirt, this awesome like goggle that he's wearing again with that tube, the fluorescent tube over the top that's shining through all of this. This visual and that UV purplish hue that is going on is such a powerful change from this. What a difference. And I love that you don't even get Kevin in normal light. He just, boom, we're in with this visual the second he comes in. That's so good.
Plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag and drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, call it, jam it, lock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, back it, switch it, date it, name it.
And I really like about this section is we've gone in from this, right?
Write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it.
This is very simple. It's just the lyrics. Everybody's singing together. Da 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 da. There's nothing different about that rhythm.
Burn it, rip it, drag and drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, call it, jam it.
So we have some sounds here. We've got this thing, but everything, it's very simple. It's just this boom, 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 and all of boom, boom, boom. Like, nothing is taking us away from this established rhythm that we've got going on. We're just adding a pulse to it. That's it. It's very, very simple evolution from what we had previously, and I really like that.
Lock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, back it, switch it, date it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it.
And now with this, and Kevin's gone from the boosh, boosh. It's now that boosh, boosh, like this stop. The stop that they're both putting in now changes the rhythm up a little bit. It's gone from being a dum, dum. It's almost a dum ka, dum ka, dum ka. Except it's not a second hit. It's a pull away of everything that we've got there. It's building. We're starting to kind of build layers of sound. We're adding beats in, but the beats aren't hits. They're withdrawals. Really nice choice.
One more time.
And there again, you get on the Technologic, you get that very broken up feel that kind of gives it a bat, and then it drops for the one more time, and then we come back in again. That build throughout that entire introduction is spot on. They nailed that. That's great.
One more time.
What they do with visuals, I'm just going to talk about this as a blanket statement for the entire song, but this is a great example of it. Just that 4 on each hit, changing where each person is in the squares. There's nothing complicated about that. It's not some crazy... They're not moving out of a square and into another square. It's just moving the squares around the screen. It's such a simple thing to do, but done in time with the music, on prominent beats. It's such an easy way of making the video more engaging. Having action on the screen without the 5 of them really doing anything more than they already were. Really, really cool.
One more time.
And I also love that when Kevin gets that little sort of mini riff right there, just for a beat, you get just him on the screen for a second. Also really lovely, again, this is early in a cappella music becoming more mainstream. We really get to focus on what Kevin is doing. We recognize that this is a vocal percussionist, which is something that is so much more common nowadays, I think, than it was. I don't know, by 2013, somebody tell me, was it becoming more popular by that point in time, or was it still relatively obscure? I feel like these guys kind of pioneered it becoming much more of a prominent thing. Obviously, it had been around for a while, but I think that this... early videos like this would have been big ones to kind of push it more into the mainstream, I think.
One more time.
The simple things here of repeating that video.
One more time.
It's not... We're not getting repeated performances of that. They're cutting and re-looping that video. And it gives it this sort of technologically electronic feel that fits so well for the way that they're representing Daft Punk's music. It fits Daft Punk in general, but it also fits the arrangement that they've made here. And I love the fact that they use looping vocals in this. They don't repeat. There's some points, I think it's a mixture. I think sometimes they themselves repeat it, and sometimes it's done as a loop, and it's really, really effective how much they play with that kind of stuff throughout this, because it really adds that edge of sort of a futuristic feel to the whole thing that's still holding up today.
Like the legend of the Phoenix, yeah.
I love the simplicity too of that change. We go from Scott, center screen, grey-blue background, and as soon as we cut to him where he's going to start singing Like the Legend of the Phoenix, we get the red smoke behind. We've had a complete change up. The blue is still present in the contact lenses, but the feel of this shot is completely different from the last one. Tells us we're going into a new section of the song. Very, very effective.
Legend of the Phoenix, yeah. All ends with beginnings. It keeps the planet spinning.
Beautiful use of harmony here. We have people above him, we have people below him. He's kind of singing in this middle register. Really, really effective, because it's kind of giving us the breadth of the group whilst keeping the vocals centered in the middle. Great choice for this song, personally, I think. I really like the way that he's singing this, and I love that we're getting this slow build of harmony around him, going from the oohs to the ohs as everything starts to build up.
With beginnings, it keeps the planet spinning. The force from the beginning.
So simple, going ooh or ah. All it is what essentially it's ooh. I can't sing ooh with my mouth open that much. Literally, all that's really happening is the mouths are opening, and they continue to sing the same thing, and you get this different vowel sound as we progress through the different amounts of how much their mouth is open. But doesn't it widen that sound out so much? I mean, it's a very simple technique. We've talked about it many times before in different arrangements, but there's just I love the way they're using it here, and we get that shh kind of growing sound coming from Kevin as well.
Force from the beginning. We've come too far to give up.
I love what Kevin's doing here. We got this. I think it's an in-breath, actually. Yeah, you can see the way his shoulders kind of jerk slightly. It's an in-breath, I think. But it's such an effective, like, it's kind of the hi-hat idea of closed hat, closed hat, closed hat, open, closed hat, closed. It's not the same sound, of course, but that's the vibe that he's giving us with that. It's just a really small change on that fourth offbeat, but it's really, really effective for making that percussion sound so much more involved. I don't know why I didn't clock this till now, but I love that the blue thing that's going up Arvy's shoulder that I was talking about is almost forming like a braid into his hair. I hadn't clocked that. Very cool. I really like the harmony they've got going here. You've got this lovely three-part between Mitch, Kirsty, and Scott. You've got Arvy coming boom, 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 and he comes boom, 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 boom. He drops the octave at points. Like, he's moving around quite a lot, but only in very small moments. He sticks to a note for a while, bounces around. It's just keeping it very simple. It's letting the three do the job of carrying the harmony here. He's just providing a simple bass line. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than this, because the three of them are killing it. Really like what they do here, because we're harking back to what we had at the beginning. We're starting off with Scott, we're adding Mitch, we're adding Kirsty, we're building that three-part harmony up, and at the same time we're bringing in the different frames. They've set that trope up, now they're using it again. And we know what's coming. We know what to expect. We know how to interpret the video and apply it to the audio that we're hearing and all that kind of stuff. It's allowing us a lot of freedom to understand what's going on, because we get it. We've had it before. We understand it.
up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all
First of all, I love that we have that kind of repeat idea that we get there. We have the cut where they flick the videos, and then we have this kind of where they mix them up for a second. And that moment right there is so interesting to me because it's kind of implying this technological glitch almost.
get fun. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get
And this time they're not looping the audio. You can see, or at least they're not looping the visuals that go with it, but I think they're probably performing the audio each time as well. You can see just from someone, for example, from Kirsty, she sings the first one, the second one her head's tilted, which is the motion she was making as the frames moved around. So this isn't a repeat, but they're kind of creating the effect of it by repeating the audio, whether or not it's been sung again or whether it's been looped somehow. They're repeating that section and moving the frames around, and it gives you that vibe of a loop, even though it's not looping, visually speaking.
lucky. We're up all night to get up all night to get lucky.
Very, very cool there. And I love that it's just a simple fade between the red and the blue in the background. There are subtle shifts in, head placement and expression and things like that. But you could almost miss that if you weren't paying attention. It's very, very smooth.
All night to get up all night to get lucky.
I love also that you get this kind of slightly percussive feel from the ba 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 ba, a little bit coming from there, but then underneath you have Avi just with this very light dum 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 dum, and he's kind of doing the same thing, but then taking it a step further and adding a little bit more, kind of like a plucked bass or a bass guitar feel, and it's giving it just a little bit more oomph. Really, really nice building on what's going on above that bass line.
Last night I had a dream about you. In this dream, I'm dancing right beside you.
And then that just carries on while Kirsty goes off and sails above them, and she gets this beautiful solo. And they've managed to keep this blend so clean. I also love that she has, because she is so blue, she has a blue corona around her frame. And I think what it is, if you look at the different tones that are around the different frames, I think it's just because she has the blue hair surrounding, because it doesn't carry on. All right, bring my mouse on. It doesn't carry on down here where her skin tone is, because you see her neck there. There's this little divot here that is a paler colour. So all it is it's because she's got the hair on. But I love that it gives the frame of her image. She has this hard white frame that everyone else has that feathers out, but then it carries on into the blue. So her frame looks faintly different. And it's just one extra thing that pulls out the individuality of her frame against everyone else's because of this blue colour.
Last night I had a dream about you. In this dream, I'm dancing right beside you. There's nothing wrong with just a little bit of fun.
And nice here that we've got the harmony is all below her. She's singing above everything right now. So you've had Scott singing in the middle of it all. Now you have her singing above it all. Nice shift. You get somebody else sing something, it changes the tonality it changes sort of the timbre of the music a little bit because the melody is shifted where it is in the overall register of the group. I really, really like that.
We were dancing all night long. Oh, I don't know what to do about this dream and you.
I really like Avi's bass line here. It's so subtle that boom, 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 boom. There's not a lot drawing your attention to it, but it's just moving very gently underneath and creating a really, really powerful support whilst really remaining very much in the background. It's great.
I don't know what to do about this dream and you. I hope this dream comes true. One more time.
Very, very small thing, but I love that. I hope this dream comes true. Just that opening to the at the end there, going into one more time. It's kind of like it's opening the arrangement up to go somewhere else. Really, really nice shift into the next section. That's really, really cool. This is, I'm really enjoying what they've done here. This is really good.
Hope this dream comes true. One
Now you get, I almost want this as one of those, like, 5, you get the 5 canvas things that you put up on your wall. That's what they've gone for here, and it's such a great look. I love that you have central vocalist and then this breakdown. It's kind of a different arrangement of the frames that we had at the beginning. They're keeping that idea of framing, but they're using it differently each time it comes back, and I just think it keeps the video interesting while also keeping it extremely holistic. Like, there's a cohesiveness that runs through this, even while they do something different all the time. Really, really effective.
One more time. Hey, we're gonna celebrate. Oh yeah, alright, don't stop the dancing.
And what I really like about this, other than the fact that I saw Avi just slightly jink out of frame there and then come back in again, I really, really like that we've got the fact that we can see all 5 mouths. We can see what's going on. We can see Kevin beatboxing away in the corner. We can see what everybody is singing. It keeps us involved in every part of the arrangement in this, even while we're still focusing on Mitch center because he is leading at the moment. And I really, really like that.
We're gonna celebrate. Oh yeah, alright, don't stop the dancing. One more time, we're gonna celebrate.
Really, really effective shift there. I like the fact that it's frame disappears, frame gets bigger, frame gets bigger. That's a really effective thing, and then we get the whiteout into the next section. Very, very clever use of the framing. I also the simplicity of that change. It's almost like it's not quite done on an in-breath, it's not that, but it's almost the effect it gives because of how much he suddenly drops back. I love the range that gets demonstrated in that little section there. You have Kirsty go way high up, and everybody who doesn't know Pentatonix is going to be like, oh, that's really cool. Then Mitch goes higher, and then we have that lovely deep bass note from Avi at the end there. Really effective as well, only ever having 2 frames visible at any given moment. The person who has just sung, the person who is singing, and then when the next person sings, that oldest frame disappears, and we just kind of shift around a little bit. Very, very cool. And I love that for the super bass note, you just get full screen Avi. Let's allow people to hear him go really, really low. Focus on that's what he does. Really, really cool. I've always enjoyed this song because I think I'm right about this. The visuals that went with this song is this not... This is when they're being... This is when they take the alien look of the crescendos and give them a human look, and they kind of, that you see them choosing clothes and hairstyles and glasses and all that kind of thing. But there's one moment in it, and it's what I think it may have even been the first thing I ever saw of a Daft Punk video, where you see them in their chair, they're sitting down in chairs, and the chair suddenly tips back so that their head is down, their legs are up. They're lying on their back. They slide backwards a short while, and then a panel turns around and drops them so that they're now going down feet first. And that is note perfect, the launch sequence for Thunderbird 2 from Thunderbirds. That's how Virgil gets into Thunderbird 2. He stands against a portrait, it tips backwards until he slides headfirst a short while, and then a panel rotates so that he continues going down feet first. He lands in a flat surface that then molds itself into a chair, and he's sitting down in the pilot seat of Thunderbird 2. And I saw that. I refuse to believe that's not where Daft Punk got the idea for that sequence in that video, because it is too similar. And I loved it, because it was just like, here was a piece of pop culture I understood being used in a piece of pop culture I was just discovering, and it was kind of one of those things that made me go, oh, that's cool, what else do these guys do? And that's how I kind of came across Daft Punk. I love what Avi's doing here with his dum dum dum, like these twitches that he's doing. They're clearly not looped because he goes slightly further or less far with the twitch each time. But I love that he's kind of playing into that element of the music here. Also, this is I love the precision that they're hitting here, where they're each singing 2 notes. You know, when you're doing it in a studio setting, I'm sure it's not that difficult, but I'm also sure they've probably performed this live and done it really, really well. It's tricky when you're in the middle of a line. It's just, your line is just faster, further, whatever it happens to be. Now I'm getting Captain Marvel in my head. Higher, further, faster, further, baby. Whatever it is. But I love that it's not an easy thing to do that, and I like that they're doing that with the voices, where they're just ping-ponging all around the group as to which bit's being sung. Really, really cool. Also, sorry, I keep stopping on this thing. I love that we're focusing on the rhythm section here, and it's only the person who is singing the word at that time who is featured in the left frame. So the left frame is constantly cycling, which draws the eye to it to see who is singing. But at the same time, the majority of the screen is being taken up by the rhythm section, who are going through the whole thing, which also draws the eye slightly to them. They're keeping you involved in everything that's going on at any given moment. Also, it's such a simple thing to stick a big ring light behind them. It's really, really effective for giving this kind of halo effect behind them, that it's lighting them in a really interesting way. And the lighting's been managed really well, so that it's not blowing out the lens. We've still got this very clear view of them, even though we have this quite bright light behind them, creating a really, really cool effect in these individual shots. Now, I would love to know, people who know this video better than I do, how much of this is actual live vocals versus is there a little bit of post-production on it just to give it that really jerky tone? Because if they're creating that solely with their vocal tone, I'm going to be really, really impressed, and it wouldn't surprise me. I know they're probably good enough. I just don't know. I've never tried doing that. I don't even know if it's possible to be quite that electronic sounding, but it's so effective. Really effective. I love the tones that they hit in this. I also love the simplicity of Kirsty just adding this like these little R's just in the middle, just adding a little bit of texture here. There's nothing super prominent about it. It's there in the background, and yet it's needed. There's something about the thickness that it gives the sound right there that it wouldn't be right without it. Really cool. Really, really love what's going on here. This is great. They're kind of doing the same thing they just did, bouncing from person to person, except this time they're changing up the combination of who is singing at any given moment. And it's having a very similar effect, but with the rich harmonies that they're creating here. Little bit of dissonance, little bit of out-of-key sound here and there, but just in a way that doesn't feel... It's harmonic dissonance. It's not going into clashing tritones and things like that, I don't think. Really, really effective. And again, the cutting of the frames, something we're building up. We're doing more and more of it. The fact that we have these 3 small frames at this point, we're starting to change. Now that we've seen them for a little bit static, we can start messing around with frames, and it's allowing a lot more freedom to do cool stuff with this. That allows a lot more flexibility in quick cuts to show frames in a different way, and the eyes have become accustomed to them already. Kevin! Love that. Also awesome that Avi's getting a moment here. I love that he's got this really smooth line, that you've then got this kind of harmony. These harmonies going, where it's like this kind of... you call it a sforzando, where it's like it hits a note, drops right back down again, but then build that sort of effect going on, except it's more of a kind of little bit less of the hit on the front, but it's that effect. I love that we've got that, and it's kind of giving it, even though they're singing a few notes against Avi, it's giving it this very smooth tone because you have this kind of flow through those notes. Meanwhile, Mr. Kevin over here, what? This is crazy. The beatboxing he's doing right here, like he's producing so many notes in a short space of time. It's such a great counterpoint to everything else that's happening on screen. Arvy's getting his vocal solo, but it's like it's a rhythm section vocal solo, and they're playing completely counterpoint to each other. Arvy has this lovely, long, sort of, almost languorous solo with these beautiful deep notes in it. Meanwhile, Kevin is putting more notes in per second than I've heard him ever do, I think. And it's interesting because he starts off with this kind of boom, and it builds, the speed he builds into is incredible. And for a second, it doesn't sound like he's going to go that fast. And then he just powers through it. It's great. I also love that Kirsty's providing like a kind of descant almost here. If you hear, everyone's just doing a plain wah, and she's going to go this whoa, 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 whoa sort of thing going on over the top. Very gently, and I think it's panned quite hard left too. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting maybe Scott in the middle. Mitch is a little bit to the right. Sorry, you're seeing me point in opposite directions because my screen is mirrored. And Kirsty's way left. And I like that because it gives us space to hear that a little bit if you focus on that side slightly. Really effective. But again, just such counterpoint to what Kevin's doing at this point. And I love that we, even though it's the screen that he's in, well, the screen that they're all in right now, but particularly Arvy and Kevin, as the soloists, their panels are almost the darkest because they're facing off to the one side, where Scott and Mitch are facing forward, and it feels like, because they're cut off on the light side of their faces, it feels like we can see more of them, even though we can't really, because half of them's cut off. Kevin and Arvy right now, because they're on an angle and the light is away from the side of the face that's in the foreground of the thing, it feels like we can't see much of them, and yet we can see everything we need to. You can see what Kevin's mouth is doing at any given moment. You can see Arvy singing. You've got the detail that you need. It's actually a fascinating choice right here. Kind of similar to what's going on with Kirsty as well, although in her case, she's sort of taking second fiddle right now, playing with this descant in the background that's kind of there if you choose to focus on it, but it's not the focal point of the arrangement right now. Really, really nice stuff here. I also like that Kirsty's frame is a different shape, which also, again, there's a small element of it to which it says there's something different going on here, and it pulls your view to it just for a second enough to realize that she's doing something different to Mitch and Scott. Really, really nice stuff here.
Music's got me feeling so free. Celebrate and dance so free. One more time, music's got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate and dance so free. Tonight.
And we go from that completely crazy vocal percussion section. We've got these lovely smooth vocals, but now we go into an even smoother vocal because we only have Mitch singing a melody line. We have these lovely single note harmonies, harmonies, but like each person's sort of holding on notes much longer now. We've got a little bit more of a pullback before we go into the next section. It's such a lovely change out of what we just came from.
We're gonna celebrate and dance so free. Tonight, hey, just feel it. Music's got me feeling unique. One more time, music's got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate and dance through the stars.
And the build through there as we gradually climb. And Arvy's not moving much. He's kind of keeping the bass core very solid. And I love that he has this dum 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 dum. Like he's got just a little bit of a percussive force going on there. It's not super strong, but it's enough to give them a little bit of additional percussion on top of what Kevin is doing. He's very good at doing that. And it's nice because it gives us this double percussive effect, as if there was a bass playing. You kind of sometimes get that feel going a little bit. It's really nice. And again, a very simple effect right there. The frame flickering around the edge of the screen. It's a very small thing, but it adds to that kind of technological feel once again as we go into that next section. And I love when you get the da-da-da-da, when we get up to that note up there, this lovely harmony that we have leading into the next section too. It's a beautiful chord they land on. And again, they're playing with the frames, but this time it's on the boom, boom. And it's switch away, switch back. And they switch back to exactly where they were. So we're just getting a little bit of a shift, but this time we're not having that play where they switch around where they are. Oh, sorry, bang the mic. Where they switch around where they are all the time. So there's a bit more consistency to this one, but it's kind of like a more rhythmic thing because it's happening in such specific points because all the percussion is doing is boom, 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 boom. It's really, really effective use. I think this whole framing idea, the kind of talking heads look, was absolutely perfect for this video because it's allowing them to do so much with the visuals without really doing anything with the visuals. It's really great. I also love that... I missed it there. I love that the cut is to different styles of visual. Kevin's kind of gone into a little bit of a darker frame. Kirsty's gone into the full purple frame. The others are kind of still in the same where they are. And then we get back, we've got Kevin's got the orange behind him. Like, there's little subtle changes in how people's frames look each time as well, which is really nice. This time Scott's gone into the super dark frame. It's just small things, but the amount that they're doing with this, there's tiny little details here and there all over the place, and I really, really like how much versatility they've put into this video. And now we're mixing them again. We've kind of got 4 of the same almost, and then Kirsty in the middle with this the sort of UV look. And yet it works somehow. We're drawn a little bit to her frame specifically because it's something different and it's in the center. But at the same time, it's not really pulling away from anybody else in any big way. It's just making her a point of attention. And then this effect is fantastic. What a simple idea. Here's 20 screens. We're going to put you into 5 of them, but behind that, all 20 are going to be taken up by this full... what is effectively a full screen thing. And I think that's really, really effective. What's interesting is the screens aren't even perfectly aligned. They're slightly different sizes. This screen, for example, this screen here is slightly higher than this screen here. This one, there's a slightly larger gap here than there is here. Like, they're not perfectly aligned, and I actually really like that because it gives it a slightly kind of fragmented effect that feeds into everything that they've been doing throughout the video so far. It's really effective. Again, the amount they can do because of this look. I also love that Scott is the one who's kind of doing this. He's now singing the descanty parts, not quite descant, but close to it. The counterpoint, I guess. And yet, he's not the person we start with. We start with Mitch. And you can tell, if you catch his frame, you can see he's singing something different, but this is where you realise it's actually him that's doing it, if you don't know the voices well enough to recognise, of course. And I love that we get all these different arrangements, and then when you cut to this da-da-da-da section, you just have this cascade down. It's really, really effective. You suddenly go from, different shapes all over the place. You get a moment of, like, Tetris, effectively, and then we cut back out again. It's really, really nice work that they're doing here. Whoever came up with this as the concept for the video, absolute genius. And I love that as an ending. My only complaint, you've heard me say it before, I wish they had given a second for it to breathe before they cut to this shot here, where we see them talking. It cuts too quickly. It would have been nice to have a da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey! Just so that the arrangement had a second to fade away. I'm big on that. You need to allow a piece of music to breathe at the end before jumping on top of it. You can't control that if you've got a live audience scenario. If people are going to clap, they're going to clap. If you go to a classical concert, you usually have that second at the end where the conductor will finish it all off and he'll hold his arms in the air for a second and then let them down. Or you'll see a pianist sit there with their hands on the piano for a second and then they'll take them away. And that's kind of your cue to clap. And they're letting the music breathe. You can control that with a video. Sorry, hit the microphone again. You can control that with a video, and it's always minutely disappointing to me when a group doesn't, and they push too quickly into the next section. It's a minor, minor gripe. especially because this has got such a powerful and sudden ending, it would be nice to give it a second to breathe. But I love what they do here. I love that you get that 4-octave drop. Na 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 na. Subs are not awake today. That's just a really effective way of ending, and I like that we end with, super deep RV as the last thing. Really, really effective. I also think, unless I'm mistaken, yeah, I love that they've all got this kind of stare into the camera. They've all got slightly different expressions on, but it's this very simple, just stare down the camera and deliver this final line. Very, very simple way of finishing the song off, but really effective. And then snap, cut to black. Really good. That's so good. I really, really enjoyed that. Definitely hadn't seen it before. Really glad I threw that caution to the wind and decided to give it a try in case I hadn't. What a fantastic arrangement. That makes me want to listen both more to this again and also to more Daft Punk, because I haven't listened to them enough recently, and they're really good. I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope I brought something to you. I mean, obviously, an enormous number of people have seen this video, so it's very, very likely I'm not bringing it to you fresh. If I did, wow, great. Check the description down below. I should have said that earlier, and watch the original. If somehow I've brought you Pentatonix, aren't they amazing? Go check them out. And if you do know this, hopefully I said something in there that you were like, oh yeah, hadn't seen that before, because that's what I really love doing, is bringing something cool from these videos to people that they hadn't seen before. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you're still here at the end. Please do like this video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you'd care to support me, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com or patreon.com/DavidKreacts in both cases, or with a super thanks here on YouTube, and any of the above would be very, very gratefully appreciated. That's all for this week. I'll be back next week with more cool music. I hope that you enjoyed this. As I say, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Look after yourselves. Have an absolutely wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, second breakfast. I don't know. What should we go for? Let's go for 4:26 p.m. Maybe I'll get somebody watching then. Take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.